We are working on our series on eternal youth. And in honor of Mother's Day, Spirit asked me to speak on youth and nurturing. So I'm going to begin with what I was given, and we'll just flow with the energy, okay? All right. The reason that nurturing is such a necessary part of youthing is that the giving of energy allows you to share, but then opens you up to receive. So as you give, you will receive, and as you love, you will be loved. And so it keeps you in this circle of life. It keeps you ever renewing and ever rebuilding. And out of stagnation. You don't ever flow into that energy of just staying in your own space. It keeps us in this beautiful flow. So it's definitely an important part. It opens the cycles of eternal love, and that keeps us in God's care. We have to feel to give, and we have to feel to receive. It's a heart experience. And it doesn't matter who you are, every one of us in our heart has this deep need to give. We have a deep need to share who we are. You're human, it's a part of who you are. So it is in every mother, of course, and every one of you is a mother as well. You have this beautiful nurturing quality, male, female, it doesn't matter. So we have a desire to nurture something. And I wanted to just start off with a story of Jesus, which is the one I use frequently because it's different. And so I'm sure it's familiar. Jesus is by himself in the city, and he has healed a child, but he's just in the city by himself. His disciples are taking a break. It says he just healed the child, and he was walking around, and Jesus saw a wounded dog. And it would not move. It lay beside the way and groaned in pain. And he took it in his arms and bore it to the home where he stayed. And he poured the healing oil into the wounds, and he cared for it as though it were a child, till it was all strong and well. And we know Jesus. We've seen his healings. Did he have to do that? Could he not have just put his hands on the animal and it would have snapped back and been healthy? But Jesus knew the animal needed more than just a healing. It needed to be loved. It needed to feel the touch and the nurturing of another spirit moving into its spirit so that it could find life again. If he had just healed it on the street, good luck puppy, there it goes. It may have again created that experience of being wounded. And it says that he did the same thing with a child. He found a child who had no home and was hungry. And he asked the people around, please, will someone please feed this child? And they said no. Because he wasn't being Jesus the teacher. He wasn't being Jesus the rabbi. He was just a man on the street in this moment. And so the people didn't respond to him as though there's the master. They responded to him, there's an annoyance. This annoying man is asking me to feed this child who I have no responsibility for. And Jesus didn't get mad at the people. He took the child and he wrapped the child in his coat and he took the child home with him. And he took care of the child and he found a home for the child. Because the child needed more than just food. And no one in that situation could have given it to him. Okay? So, nurturing is beyond that instant healing. It's beyond that manifestation. It is the sustaining of love and life. Nurturing is about finding something that supports the well-being. So these are the two qualities that I want you to think of today. Nurturing feels like encouragement. A, the energy is freely given to support and enhance something. B, the person who gives the nurturing is accepting of the growth that emerges. The person is not attached to the growth that emerges. Think about when you're watering your flower plant and it hasn't blossomed yet, and you're putting water in your little green plant that you've purchased, and you know it's going to flower, and as you're putting water in it, you're saying to that plant, I want a white flower now. You must give me a white flower. You don't do that, do you? You say, here, take some water and be what you need to be. Be what you need to be. Unfortunately, as humans in our world today, we do A pretty well. We freely give our energy to support and enhance, do we not? We don't do B very well, except the growth that emerges. We feel when we nurture, we have invested in the nurturing that we have given, and of course, you want to emulate all that I have given you. And if you do not, who has failed? You have. I should not nurture any longer. We become so attached to what we teach. We attach to the outcome. Think about in business, the first thing we teach our kids is find a mentor. And think about when you're a mentor. And you're teaching someone something. You're teaching someone something fabulous that you know that you own. And you teach them, and they come back to you and they go, oh, I'm doing it this way. And you go, not what I taught you. No, I'm going to try it this way anyway. It's like, not under my watch, you're not. You want to mentor with me? You got to do it my way. Because I'm going to teach you something else, you know? And we're attached to the outcome. So then that mentoring, when you are attached to the outcome, is not nurturing. It's teaching. It's teaching. And there's a difference. Nurturing gives love and allows it to emerge. Allows it to emerge. You all had mothers. Did your mother ever look at you and say, you must become, well, some of you did. Did your mother normally look at you and say, you must be exactly like I do and exactly like I say? And they may not have nurtured as much as you have wanted, but when they did, they allowed the emergence of whatever would grow. All right. When we are nurturing, we say often, you obviously did not understand what I was telling you when I was nurturing you. You obviously did not get that right. And when they choose to do something else, we typically say, well, then I shall not nurture you again. And that's, again, teaching. We all have to nurture something. We have to nurture something. So, we need to find that space within us where we can begin to nurture without attachment. Do you realize that's why we as human beings respond so quickly and easily to national disasters or critical conditions? When the call for help goes out for a flood or something has happened, we are all giving money, giving time, giving energy because we want to give freely to what has happened so we can nurture the situation to lift it up. We learn as metaphysical Christians, do not be attached to what you give. The very act of giving, you're lovingly giving, love is going in your gift, it's going out in love, it will find love, it will return love to you. We don't have to worry who's using the money for what, who's taking the water where, we don't have to worry. We know that we're giving it freely, you see? So we can rally in those moments of big, major issues, but can we rally in those small, quiet moments when we're really needing to nurture something? Do you realize how many of you have animals just so that you can nurture? Yeah, so that something can grow. And do you ever try to control that animal? Doesn't work, does it? It will emerge into what it will be. But it loves your love. All right. What we've been talking about so far is the nurturing of the babies. Situations, people where our energy is stronger in a certain aspect than what we're nurturing. So I'm calling that nurturing the babies, whether it's an adult or not, but we're nurturing something that is not as strong as we are. Everybody got that? Can you see where you have room for improvement? Okay, so let's set that aside for a minute. Remember Jesus with the dog. Sometimes just a healing is not enough. Sometimes when someone comes to you in a weakened state, and they are obviously not in their power, and they're in a weakened state, and they're hurt, and they need a healing, sometimes Band-Aids, patting on the head is not enough. Nurturing goes beyond that. Say, I am willing to expand. I got 30%. That's good. All right. We also need to nurture relationships. So I've asked David and Rachel to come up and just show us a little example. I hope this will help you understand. Fuller, can you come up? Rachel? This is small. It's just a little example of how we relate with each other and how we might look at it differently. Okay. So this is your house.
Hey, let's go to Avalon today.
No.
What do you mean? You love shopping there. I can go to that store where I really love the clothes, and you really like that men's store, and we can get some really cool dog food. Come on, it'll be fun.
No, I don't want to go.
Why? Come on, let's have some fun.
No, I don't want to go. I just, you always want to drag me out. I'm tired. I work a lot. I just want to stay home.
I don't want to stay home.
Okay. So was that your house? Okay. So we're gonna do it again. Fuller? Rachel?
Hey, let's go to Avalon today.
No.
Okay, watch. What did the no do? He shut down communication between the two. Carry on.
What do you mean? You love shopping there. I can go to that store where I really love the clothes, and you love that new men's store. We can get some really cool dog food. Come on, it'll be fun.
And now Rachel has moved into manipulation.
No, I don't want to go.
Now we have what's being exerted. Power's being exerted now, right? So we had this good intention, Saturday morning, we have a free day, now we've moved into power.
Why? Come on. Let's go have some fun.
Now we're begging.
No, I do not want to go. You always want to drag me out. I'm tired. I want to just stay home for once.
And now he is blaming.
But I don't want to stay home.
And now we have a victim. Okay. What started as an extremely good intention has quickly turned into a power struggle. You see? All right, so we have an alternative.
Hey, let's go to Avalon today.
What did you have in mind?
We have an opening. He's opening to her thoughts.
I don't know if I'm feeling Avalon today.
Now he's sharing his feelings. So opening to her about sharing his feelings.
Well, I was just thinking, you love shopping there. And I can go to that store where I love those clothes. And we can get some really cool dog food and eat at that sweet restaurant. Come on, it'll be fun.
Okay, so now we moved from her beginning to manipulate to her sharing her feelings. And could you feel the shift? And do you know what the difference was?
Restaurant.
It was not restaurant, it was shopping. The difference was this. In the beginning, when he said no, she said,
Well, I was just...
no.
Oh, I said, what do you mean?
What do you mean? And this time she said,
Well, I was just thinking.
difference. Do you see that? What do you mean is accosting. Well, I was just thinking is now I'm going to share. So we have David saying, her saying, go to Avalon. David goes, what do you have in mind? He's open. I don't know if I feel Avalon. He's sharing his feelings. Now, I was just thinking, and now she's sharing her feelings, saying basically the same thing she said before. Let's go shopping. We can do that. We can do that. Okay? So now she says, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that fun for me. I'm out all the time, and I just really need to stay home.
But it'll be fun for me.
You go, have fun. Just pretend I'm with you. And just pretend to hear me saying, of course, you love it, get it. Buy it. And then, while you're gone, I'll make dinner so we can eat when you get back.
Okay, I'll see you later.
You stripped all my bites from me.
I will give copies of those. By a shift of a phrase, They went from defending their position and manipulation to sharing their feelings. And in that moment, they both went into a space of nurturing, not each other, their relationship. I feel this way, I'm going to freely tell you my feelings. I feel this way, I'm going to freely tell you my feelings. We don't have to come to conclusion. But by the expression of the feelings, we're now nurturing, giving freely, letting it become what it needs to become, this space between us called relationship. If you, and any of you who are seasoned at all know you have to come to that if you're going to survive. Because the power of, when every single suggestion becomes an exertion of power, there is no fun. There's just no fun. We need to nurture spaces between us, relationships, personal relationships, and relationships all around us. How many of you have said, I really like this person, or this happens a lot when you're dating, I really like them, but they never give of themselves. And all you're saying is, they never share their feelings. They don't tell me how they feel. So I don't know. I don't know if I like them or not. Because we're not investing in this space between us. I know everything about them, every point of history, every. But there's nothing there to invest in. Nurturing. We have to nurture everything. Nurturing those relationships. Sometimes nurturing is simply sharing your feelings with an equal, co-creative partner. And you are both watering the flower. You're both watering the flower. Does that make sense? Did you all already know this? Okay. So, when you consider that any relationship that you have, when you move into power and authority, you're out of relationship, really, and you're into nurture. You're out of nurturing. You're out of nurturing, and you're really out of that relationship. You're into control. See, I got it. Okay. So we're going to move on. So we've talked about nurturing people in need. We've talked about now nurturing our relationships that don't have to be in need to be nurtured, but they need to be nurtured. Now let's do nurturing self. Ready? All right. Do you nurture yourself well? Do you listen to your body? Let's start with our bodies today. So here's your Cindy story of the morning. So I'm getting ready to go to a vacation, and my skin is extremely pale. And so I've been applying that wonderful lotion that says we will tone and firm you, so that when I expose my legs and arms to the world, they will not be shockingly white. So I apply this onto my body, and immediately my body tells me, I don't like that stuff. I can't breathe. I cannot breathe. I start to not be able to breathe. And I go, body, you're okay. I get a little bit of nervous energy because of the reaction my body's having. But I know that if I wait 20 minutes, my body will be fine. And I say, hang in there, body. You got 20 minutes and you're going to be fine. Now, what am I doing to my body? I'm telling my body, shut up. Shut up, I got to look darker than I am. I don't want to shock the world. What am I doing to my body? I'm doing the opposite of nurturing. And my body is literally speaking to me. Please do not. You are hurting me. How many of you, when you have a headache coming on, because you can normally feel a headache coming on, can't you? How many of you ignore the headache that's coming on? Some of you don't? Most of us do. And as it starts to come on and build and pressure builds, what you can do the minute you notice it is you can stop and take a breath and send light to that vibration. Okay, number one, I'm getting a headache. What am I doing? What am I feeling? What am I thinking? Stop it all. Take an inventory. Alter it, because one of those things is causing it. One of those things. Take a breath, breathe light into your body, breathe light into that feeling, and let God love move through you and do something else. The body's simply saying, I don't like what you're doing. Can you change? And we say, no. No, we're not going to change. Nurturing your body is beyond a bubble bath. Nurturing your body is listening and eating what it wants to eat and being with it. Now, when we go into nurturing the body, we're going to hit the emotions. And that's very integral. So we nurture our emotions as well. You saw David and Rachel do the male-female back and forth. You do that inside. You do that with your own thoughts. You have your logical thought and your intuitive thought fighting. You have your work thought and your play thoughts fighting. You understand? So, to nurture the emotional body means to create a space just like we did in the relationship body, where you can handle both the work and the play, the intuition and the logic. There's a work self and a fun self. Work self and fun self. You guys know your fun self? How often does your work self say, be quiet? Fun self. We don't have time. We have not earned the right to be fun. We must work harder. All right. Do you realize how much time you spend arguing inside yourself? You'd be surprised. So, when the kids were little, we used to have this game that I like to play. We didn't play it very often because it cost $250, and we were on a very tight budget. But it was a game that we played with the kids. I have David, Pat has 2. We would set a Saturday aside, and everybody got $50. We went to the mall, and we don't come home until everybody spent their $50 on something. Now, this was 20 years ago, so it bought more than it does today. But it was something that I needed to do to balance the work-play energy, and it taught the kids to balance the work-play energy because it was work for them to spend their $50. It would take Noelle almost the whole day to find the perfect fit. Of course, David and Brian were like, take me to big Best Buy, we'll buy a game. You know, that's their $50. But the idea of doing something that combined both energies. Do you all hear what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it becomes an assignment, which is work, but it becomes play, which is fun. Do you ever make your play an assignment? I must go to a party. I don't know where I'm going, but I must do this. I must go to a concert. I must go to a movie. Where you assign your pleasure time. Well, let me encourage you. This will balance and nurture your emotional body. When you balance your logic and your intuition, when you balance your work and your play, it nurtures your body. It nurtures your emotional body. If you choose to exercise, how many of you exercise and force yourself to exercise and you hate going to the gym?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Think about it as introducing now the emotional aspect to it. Make it a game. Give yourself a reward for it. Do something fun so that it balances it out. This is how we stay nurturing within ourselves. All right. If we can find ways to nurture ourselves, we will get out of the emotional conflict. If you can get out of emotional conflict, you will not see emotional conflict around you. Please understand that. What you're feeling within reflects outside of you. So if there's emotional conflict outside of you, go inside and balance your emotional body. Nurture it a little bit. Give yourself some time. You can also nurture yourself. You can read a book without worrying about how much time you're sitting on the couch reading the book. You can do things that allow you space, that you don't penalize yourself for. Okay? When we use the mind, when we use our mind, nurture our mind, this is when we introduce the ideas of the affirmations and the dreaming, which Beth's going to talk to you about in a couple weeks. Affirming and thinking higher and holding higher vision for self. That nurtures the mind aspect of you. All right. If you saw yourself as this beautiful plant that had infinite potential in the seed to do anything you wanted, and you had around you everything you needed to feed you, God gave you everything that you needed to feed you, would you not want to flower in the most wonderful way that would be uniquely you. Can you own that?
Yes.
The fertilizer that you put into the soil of that plant is taking care and nurturing your emotional body, your physical body, and your mental body. That's the fertilizer you put in so that your flower becomes exquisite. It's you, it vibrates to your energy. It's beautiful. Nurturing. And even you have no idea what the end will be, but it will be something amazing. All right. We all want God to nurture us and it to be over, don't we? God, just make it happen. Take care of me so I don't have to worry about any of the details of my life. Let me just live in this wonderland of wonderful things happening to me. And that's great. And you can do that. And you'll stay forever as a child of God at the infant level. But you want to grow up to be the creator God. Be mindful of your own needs and be mindful of your own balancing. Do any of you ever want to just be held like your mom held you? Or like someone that mothered you held you? Maybe you didn't have a mom, maybe you had somebody else that mothered you. Just want to curl up in someone's space and just be loved. That's when yourself, your soul is asking for you to love yourself. Those are the times when you can just stop and nurture, love, and hold yourself. And supply whatever you need in that moment. Are you willing to try? Let's go with it. Father, Mother God, I ask that your light just enfold each, and I would invite each of you to feel a beautiful column of light coming over you. And I want you just to envision the beautiful love of Father, Mother God filling that column of light. And breathe it in. The more love you take in, the more love there is. And as you breathe it in, you exhale it into your world, into your consciousness, and breathe it in again. The more love you take in, the more love there is. Exhaling it into your world. We're going to do it one more time. Breathe it in. Breathe in the love. Exhaling into your world. And feel the energy field around you now. So full. So full. And I want you to direct some of this love deep in your heart. I allow this beautiful love to go deep within, to nurture who I am. Just let it move. Feel the heart expanding. Now focus back on the beautiful love from Father, Mother God. Breathe it in. The more I breathe in, the more there is. The more I breathe in, the more there is. And I want you to think about something that might need some of your nurturing love right now. Maybe it is a relationship, maybe it's your physical body, maybe it's your mom. Just take a breath. And send that love to whatever came up for you. And I share this love unconditionally to help the growth of this situation. Let your focus come now back to the light that continues to engulf you. Father, Mother God, I ask that in this moment each receive what they need. And in your mind's eye, just hold out your hand and allow Spirit to place a gift, a word, an energy, a feeling in your hands. You may see it, you may hear it, you may feel it. The perfect gift that nurtures your soul. And when you receive it, just thank God for this. And we send gratitude. Father, Mother God, we are so grateful for this moment. We go forth empowered and bright and alive. And we breathe in your love always. And take a breath. And let your focus come back to your chair. Back to your heart. I am important. I am important. And when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Well, I hope you could feel the love. And I hope you remember, nurturing yourself, nurturing your world, nurturing the life around you keeps you in the flow. And when you stay in the flow, you stay eternally youthful. Say Yeka.